Our candid one-on-one interview with none other than Thomas Wiyombo, otherwise known as Tom Close, starts now. Tom, welcome to One-on-One.
Thank you.
Now, very quickly, someone will be asking himself or herself, how does he manage to do, being a doctor and being a musician? There are those who don't really understand or really believe that you are a professional doctor, that they can go to a hospital and find you there to treat them. How do you manage to mix these two?
Actually, medicine is my profession, and music is my passion. The same as any other doctor might love watching soccer or football, and he does that after work. So I do music after work.
So you do music after work?
Yeah, but because I've been doing it for quite some time, it becomes very easy for me to do it professionally also. Yeah.
And how about the doctor part? Is this something that you discovered at some point that you really want to be a doctor? Because some of us, we are told when we are young, that's when we start discovering some of the things that we want to do. While you were young, were you doing or playing games like operating grasshoppers and doing such kind of things? Tell me about it, your childhood,
while I was
becoming
young,
a doctor.
I didn't even know that doctors do operations. Yeah, but one day, one of my parents was sick. My mom was having an ulcer's crisis. So I looked at her and, thought that she was really in pain. So I promised her that one day when I grow up, I was going to become a doctor and treat her. So that's how I had that dream of being a doctor since my childhood. So as I grew up, I used to, to do anything that could lead me to that dream of mine.
So what you're saying is, if you want to achieve something, you need to first of all have the dream. And then when you have this dream, the next process is definitely hard work, Tom. I'm sure you cannot just say, I'm dreaming to be a pilot, and you just go to bed and continue dreaming.
Yeah.
How do you take it to that next level of actualizing this?
Actually, when someone is young, almost all doors of profession are open to them. But it's even better to know where you're going at a very tender age, because it eases things. Because for me, when I was young in secondary school, I used even to perform better in other courses that could lead to other kinds of profession. But because I knew where I was going, anything that could, take me to a different direction, I couldn't go with it.
And when talking about young and being in school and the performances, what are those some of the childhood, high school or primary school memories that you have?
The main memory goes with my name as Tom Close, because that's where I got my name from. During primary, primary 1, primary 2,
yes,
they took me to a boarding school. And when I was there,
you were so stubborn that they just wanted you away from them, or what?
No, some other reasons. Yeah. So when I was there, I had friends like any other kid, and we became very close to the point that we wanted to share a name. So on our names, we added Close. So that's how I became Tom Close. And when I started music, I didn't want that memory to go away. So I just got the name and made it my stage name as an artist. So that's the memory that I never want to go away, because I was there. I think I was 7 or 8, and I had to take care of myself from A to Z, from anything that a parent can take care of.
You had to do that on your own.
I had to do it on my own.
How hard was that? Could you give us or paint for us a picture? What were some of those tough moments that you would say, "Oh my God, this was that day that I can never also forget"?
It's an experience. Yeah, I can't just pick out a single day.
Tom, you have a memory. There's something I'm sure you remember and you say, that day I can never forget about it. Like the day I was beaten 6 strokes of the cane because I didn't get an A in maths. We have these memories.
the reason I'm saying that it's an experience is because every day was something new to me when I was there, because it was a boarding school of more than 2,500 students, and during that period, people used to go to school when they are old. I could find someone the age of my uncle
in school
and
bullying you.
So the whole of it was a lifetime experience to me, now, which I think actually shaped me to the person I am today.
Now, the responsibility of our environment to what we become when we grow up. What can you say, how does that contribute to who we become? We've seen children who have had a rough childhood, becoming child molesters in other countries, or becoming, just isolated people because of what they went through when they were young. You've told me you had to deal with some of the things that, your parents were supposed to do when you were young, but you had to go through all that. You had to go to school in the same class probably with a person older than even your uncle himself. How do you think these environments shape what we become in future?
It depends on what someone takes it to be. For me, what I got from that experience was only positives. But if I wanted to take negatives, maybe I would have turned into something else. But as you've just said, the history of someone is what shapes them to become what they become in the future. Because we always choose our future, but we can't choose our past because it's already gone. So if your past is full of bad experiences, maybe in a way it's going to shape you into maybe someone who is positive, because you don't want something that happened to you to happen to other people. Also, it can shape you into someone who feels that, bad things can just happen.
And make you a bad person. So how do you also, let's get back to your profession as a professional doctor and as an entertainer at the same time. In other countries, we have, particularly in Kenya, there used to be one artist who was a musician and also a doctor. He came from this group called P Unit. And most of the time you'll find him in the videos covering his face using a cape, because it was policy that you cannot mix the two, because you end up having conflict of interest at some point when a patient comes to you for treatment. How or what is the policy here?
I think that's what matters is what you do at the hospital, not what you do outside the hospital, provided that it's under the law. It's not prohibited by the law here. So I think music is a profession, and which is even supported by the government for any randees who has talent or who's willing to do. And medicine as well is a profession that is also most of the people call it noble, one of the noble professions here.
Yes.
So me, when I'm at what matters is how I take myself around the two professions.
Okay.
When I'm at the hospital, I'm a doctor. I'm not an artist. And when I'm outside, I'm a normal person.
Okay.
When I'm on stage, I'm an artist.
Okay.
I think that's what helps me to do both, and that's what matters.
Without lying to us, because we have never had cameras in your observation room where you go around checking patients, has there ever been a time when a patient, probably of the opposite sex, you went to treat them, and probably you're among your number one fans, and they started behaving in a malicious way, because they love you so much, and probably it affected your way of handling them?
I think that has never happened, because most of the fans I have know me from my university days when I was still studying.
You're a no-nonsense person.
So they have that experience. They are always expecting to see me as a doctor.
Okay.
I think it can become very hard for a fan who's never heard that Tom Close is a doctor, and
then surprisingly
sees me putting on a white coat in the consultation room. So it becomes very easy for the fans to go around me because they know I'm a doctor. They're expecting to see me there. So I've never had a fan who's behaved in a
malicious way.
In a malicious way.
Maybe they're coming.
Maybe they are coming, but I think I'm ready for that.
You're ready for that. Let's talk about being celebrities with a purpose, because we've seen most celebrities or people with that status but misusing them or even not using them for a good purpose. At some point when we were still new here in Rwanda, I used to see a lot of publications that you have gone to hospitals to donate food for some young people. This has kind of reduced. But as you answer that question, why it has reduced, could you also explain to your peers, these are the people in the entertainment industry or those who get to share the limelight, what can they do or what should they do to be celebrities with a purpose and not just to be famous?
Okay, for the first question, I think my helping has never reduced. It's only that I'm planning for something in the real time. For me, I never did that for publicity. I didn't do that for for people to know that I've done that.
Yes.
Which might end up being as buying publicity.
Yes.
In a way. So I love to help someone with something that those people are really in need of. And that's what I'm actually preparing myself to do that again. And for my fellow artists or celebrities who misuse their status, I think as you said earlier, it runs from the past, from someone's past. Maybe they came in music purposely to become famous without any other goal. It's good because we are made famous by our fans. So if someone cheers for you, if someone supports you, the way we give back to them is keeping their trust.
Yes.
Is behaving in a positive way, in a way they are expecting us to behave. It's not that we live for our fans. We have a life to live.
Exactly.
But we have to live an inspiring life.
Okay.
Because, when people are your fans, they are always expecting good things from you, positive things from you.
And how do you do that?
Expecting you to set an example.
Yes.
To them.
Is this pressurizing for you? Because we've seen artists internationally who've had to live that life for the eyes of the public, and inside they were hurting, inside they were burning, and that's why you'd see some of them resorting to drug abuse to keep themselves in that tone, in that pressure.
I think for me, something that most celebrities or artists have never learned is that when God gives you that talent, there are some other additives that come with it, which one of them is, after being an artist, how do you go around it? How do you behave? How what's the life behind the camera?
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't think for me to live a life behind the camera would take abusing drugs. So if they could understand that, part of being an artist is, living a life without, any other supplements, something that push you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
If they could learn that.
Yes. You hang around some of these people, some of your colleagues in the entertainment industry, without even mentioning names. Would you agree that there are some of them here in Rwanda that are living a lie just because of their cameras, but deep down in their lives, there's
I don't think it's common here. Yeah. If there is any, I think it's because apart from being an artist or a celebrity, they are human beings. And any human being, when you're a human being, there is room for errors, for mistakes. And those mistakes are part of their life. But that's not how it's not so hard here as it is
elsewhere.
Outside.
Now, talking of still remaining with the issue of pressure and the fact or the pressure to remain relevant as an artist, there was recently a publication in the New Times that actually it was an investigative story that came out with some shocking revelations that some of our artists are now resorting to witchcraft in order to remain relevant. Your quick observations on that?
My observation on that is most of the stories about that are rumors. I have my fellow artists who have been rumored to working with witch doctors in some province to make one of their songs a hit. I'm not totally sure
if it is true or not
true. True or not true. But what I can say, the period they said that those artists were away to see the witch doctor, I'm sure that they were around here. So that's what makes me doubt. And that's what makes me believe that most of those stories are false.
So if they were to go... yes.
If they are true, I think at least here we are at least trying to to do our music from our talent. But in other countries, in other music industries around the region, things have gone far.
Do you believe in Illuminati?
I don't believe. Yeah.
Okay. Now let's move back a bit to some historical issues that happened. For example, the Primus Guma Guma, which you won. We'll be talking about it in depth, but let's look at the reaction that happened the day that you were announced as the winner. We sort of saw a bit of chaos. We had some stones being thrown. How did you feel when this was happening during that night?
By then, I believed that I deserved to win. And if we could even go in depths, it was very clear that I was a deserving winner.
This is by then. You've said by then.
By then.
Is your opinion changing today? Do you think that you didn't deserve to win? Or what do you mean by then?
What I mean by then, I'm like, for the competition, for someone to become a winner,
yes.
they needed someone who was famous, more famous than
the others.
Yes. And from the road shows, from the concert that we had done, the performance I had, the fans I had, I was actually deserving to win. So that's why I'm saying by then. Maybe if the competition comes back right now,
you may not win.
I may not win, or I may win. Sometimes people have things in offices, at home, but when they go on the on ground, things are different.
Yes.
So by then, the fans, the situation of the competition,
yes.
What it needed an artist to win, I think I had everything.
All that, yes,
all that.
Yes.
And even the organizers of the competition didn't contest against the decision. So that one happens anywhere, but I think it's a bad reaction.
It was a bad reaction.
It was a bad reaction from fans, of which I can't recommend my fans to do the same.
They had claimed that you bought SIM cards. Could you clear the air today on this issue?
For me, I didn't buy any SIM cards, but even if I could buy any, it wasn't against the rules of the competition. And if they had proof, and it was not allowed by the competition,
yes,
they
should have disqualified you.
It could have automatically disqualified me. Yeah.
Let's talk about the song you did with Sean Kingston and its performance out there. Do you think you were taken for a ride? Do you think you were lied to? Because that song, in many cases, many people who are watching it, or even on the airwaves, we didn't see it receive much airplay as what many would have expected. Do you think you were given justice?
I don't judge that as injustice. I think.
Or do you think you did the song injustice?
They gave me what they had prepared to give.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what I received.
And were you happy with that?
I was happy.
Tom, be honest.
Yeah, I was happy. I would have wished it to take me somewhere very far, but even though it didn't, everything happens for a reason, and everything has its own period. I think maybe my chance is coming.
Okay.
To go outside.
So what you're telling me is
for the prize by then, I think they gave what they had prepared to give.
Okay.
Yeah.
But who wrote the song actually? Those who are wondering who did what in that song?
I actually wrote my part and he wrote his part.
And then you went for the shoot. All right. So looking today at the music industry in closing, in final words or thoughts, what do you see as the major issues affecting the industry? And what are the possible solutions to them?
I think most of the negative, the major issue affecting Rwandan music is negative media. Always criticizing.
Yes.
Some people might, go along with that, with the negative comments, but as it takes some time, most of them start believing that what the media is saying is true, is right. If most of them could be positive, could criticize in a positive way. You can say that this and that is bad, it needs to change, but in a positive way, not in a negative way, in a constructive way. I think those are the comments that we need. And if the media, because for someone to become famous, for a song to be known by people, it needs media. And that's when people start paying attention to anything. So if the comments, if the media, what they say about Rwandan music is positive, even if it's criticizing, but in a positive way,
it's needed.
I think it can help Rwandan music grow even faster.
Now, finally, you are happily married. I can see you have a ring on you. But someone who is in the showbiz industry would need some advice from you for those who are not yet married or planning to get married. How easy is it to balance marriage and being in a situation where you'll have fans of the opposite sex with their other malicious intentions? How are you handling that?
I think it goes with the personality of someone. And you don't marry just because others are getting married. Being a man, it's an experience that anyone has to go through. So my personality helps me to manage both. Manage my family and my fans.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, when you're an artist, it's a profession. It's something that gives you bread. And you need that bread to sustain your family. So you need to balance between the two.
Okay. It's all about the balance.
Yeah.
That is Tom Close with you, telling you all that. Now, thank you very much, Tom, for coming on One-on-One. It's been a great pleasure hosting you right here. And of course, for those who have been listening, thank you very much for being a part of the program. Catch the program each and every weekday, Monday to Friday at 7:30 in the morning. And of course, 6:30 p.m. A rebroadcast runs each and every day at 9:30 after the English news broadcast. And for those who want to catch the whole week's shows, catch the rerun. That is the marathon rebroadcast every Sunday from 9 p.m. My name is Eugene Anangwe, signing off. Goodbye for now.